Coming up in today's vlog, there's leaky locks,
That's the roughest I've ever known any lock.
the history of the River Witham. Archaeological evidence points to river navigation as far back as the Iron Age. Artefacts such as the Iron Age Witham shield were found here in the river near Washingborough in 1826. And we encounter a problem as we leave Lincoln.
He put it into reverse and he was going backwards. And he said, I can't get it out of reverse. It was like, oh my God, panic. And I just said to Tony,
Well, hello everybody,
hiya.
and welcome to today's vlog. Now, we're going to start with the bit that goes wrong. Usually vloggers don't do that because they tease you and they leave the clickbaity, titley thing or whatever is happening right till the end. But no, we're not like other vloggers, as you've probably noticed.
Well, some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah, I
to be
know.
fair.
Okay.
Come
Yeah.
on.
Okay. Sorry, our fellow vloggers. We know you're not all like that, but normally the big tease is left till the end, isn't it? So it makes you watch the whole thing. No, we're going to start with what went wrong right at the beginning. Now, I know what you're going to say. What's that noise, Tony? Well, we happen to be moored up next to what used to be, I think, an old flour mill. A lot of the old buildings around here have been knocked down and repurposed, and this is Lincoln City Council's stamp end depot, and I think it's waste. It's where recycling and everything else. So the big lorries that pick it up from where you dump your rubbish off.
There's been a lot coming out this morning.
They come in here and then it's all recycled further into here and mixed and whatever else happens. So we just happen to be on this side, and you're probably wondering, why are you here, Tony, and not back in your lovely moorings in Lincoln city centre?
Shall I take over?
It was getting a bit rowdy,
Shall I
shall we
take
say?
over? It wasn't rowdy. It was just a few people and the voices were echoing. And it was about midnight or whatever. Well, I go to bed after him, so... And he did sleep. But he decided... we had my sister and a few friends over just for a couple of hours. And then Tony said, we're going to move. It's a bit noisy here. And we've been there about 3 days. And it was lovely. So we decided to move. And he said, we'll go just before the guillotine lock. And we pulled up and I thought, maybe we should have stayed where we were.
May not be the most salubrious of places to stay, but it's a mooring point.
And it's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
And then he decided to reverse and go backward so that I could get my front rope on a bollard. He put it into reverse and he was going backwards. And I've got the rope like this and he's going, pull her in, Jan, pull her in. I'm going, running down the tiny little path that's there in front of the railings.
Very narrow, yeah.
And it didn't stop. And he said, I can't get it out of reverse. And, it was like, oh my God, panic, what happens? And I just said to Tony, turn the bloody engine off.
Yeah, turn the engine off. Why didn't I think of that? Hey, look, Tony. Because what would happen is...
Oh dear.
Down here we have what's called a Morse controller. It's a very simple device. Forward is forward. In the middle is neutral, and reverse is reverse. You press the red button to take it out of gear if you want to charge the batteries or you just want to run the engine. So normally when it's in the upright position, clicked off, then you're not in any gear. However, what was happening last night was that the throttle cable had broke somewhere and it was stuck in reverse. So no matter where you put this lever, we were going backwards. And of course, no matter how much I tried to push it forward or whatever, we were just going to go backwards even faster.
So bless him, he was in a bit of a to-do, a little bit of a panic.
Yeah.
And
because I could see you on the path there, running away with the centre line, going, "Come back, Tony, come back!" So eventually, yes, I did switch the engine off. And obviously that cut all power to the throttle, the engine, and everything. And we stopped, and then I managed to get off and help pull the boat in. We then obviously.
We went very quiet.
Well, diagnosed what the problem was, so asking my faithful friend Charlie, and he reckoned that it was definitely going to be the throttle cable. So as we have RCR, that's River Canal Rescue service with our insurance company, Then I thought, well, we've never used them for 2.5 years.
No.
Let's give them a call and see what they can do. So I called RCR, and they took all the details, location, where we are, and they said we'll get back to you when somebody's en route. And they have a network of engineers around the country, and about an hour and a half, 2 hours later, a nice engineer called and said we'll be there by about 8:30, 9
o'clock, yeah.
And they actually got here at
It was gone 7:30.
7:30, yeah.
They were here really quick.
He took some information about where exactly we were, so he could park up nearby, which, as you could
He
probably
must have
see,
climbed over the fence.
yeah, and he climbed over. There is a gate.
Railings.
There is a gate to get in and out, because obviously there's a pub and a shop not so far away from here, so there are some boaters' facilities, if you like, as well as the water tap. But they climbed over the fence to get to us.
Knock.
Yeah, knocked on the side of the boat. And he said it'd probably take half an hour, and it did. I've got a problem with the Morse control in it. It's a bit stiff in reverse, but I think it's actually the Morse controller that's at fault. He did try to repair it a little bit, but I've just got to live with it for the time being, so we can get a new one and replace it. But a big thank you to
Dylan and Ollie. They
Yes.
were fabulous.
Yeah.
They were lovely, polite, so helpful.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, boys. It was
Yeah.
brilliant.
Thank you both. Very kind of you. Yeah, so RCR have got a network like those guys based around there. They're based in Nottingham, I think, and they cover everything from Northampton, so they're down the Grand Union quite a lot. You may see them down there.
And I think
and
they
all
do
the way up to
Sheffield.
York. Yeah, York. Quite a distance.
And I think they do 5 days on, 2 days off, and then they work every other weekend as well.
So I know, this is not an advert as such, but
Praise to them.
A bit like your car, you wouldn't necessarily go out on long distances or use your car for professional services if you didn't have something, or somebody to look after you if anything goes wrong. Yes, I can do the basics of servicing engine, but I've never been taught anything about the throttle cable. I know it's a standard piece of equipment that you have a spare of, but no, it wasn't on. We haven't got one on here.
Tony, you can't even switch the engine off.
Thanks for that. Anyway, we had a nice quiet night here, surprisingly, being next to a corporation tip, as it were. And in front of us, we've got the first guillotine lock. Never done one before, have you?
Nope.
This is where she chops my head off for not switching the engine off last night.
Yeah.
Not sure we're going to film all the way to wherever we're going. We're going to the first mooring pontoon, hopefully at Washingborough, I think it is, if it's empty or if there's space. Just want to say a quick thank you to all our new subscribers.
Thank you.
Thanks to everybody who's following us on Patreon and supporting us there, and on Buy Me a Coffee. I'll put all the links down below and everything. Thanks everybody for your support. It means such a lot to us.
Oh, definitely.
Very helpful, especially in times like this. Thank you, everybody. Jan, as usual, is getting a leg over. You need your key, and that's the British Waterways key. Still call it a British Waterways key. And a windlass. A key operates the guillotine part, and the windlass operates the gates, the other end of the lock. I need you to set the centre line. now back out into the countryside, so it should be a bit quieter. Now I know some of you are going to say, Tony, you had a bit of a distraction the other night with the cable going and everything else, and calling out the rescue services.
Them on the right over.
Oh, hello. Jan's just calling me on the radio. They are over. Are there any moorings available? Over?
Nobody on it, over.
Nobody on it. Right, fine. Well, we'll be the first ones there. Over.
Okie dokie, over.
Right, so Washingborough moorings. Yeah, so as I was saying, you're probably asking yourself, why didn't you film it all? Well, actually what was happening was we were going from the moorings in Lincoln City, in the town, to just above the lock, and I was going to wait there overnight and then ready for the lock the following morning, because, like I did say, there's a bit of a noise going on in the city centre, as you'd expect, I suppose, but it gradually got worse as the days went on. And whilst it didn't affect us, and it wasn't down where we were moored, it was on the high street behind us, it did cause me, I couldn't sleep for a few hours. You know, it took a long time to finally nod off, as it were. So I thought, right, okay, well, just let's go a bit further forward. And I didn't film that because it was just like not even a quarter of a mile, and it was only 10 minutes to the lock, and I thought, well, it's not worth filming it, because we'll start the journey at the lock, which is obviously what we've done on today's vlog. So I didn't film any of it, and didn't film any reaction, because my primary concern was get it fixed and call somebody who can help. I didn't think of picking the camera up and filming it. It didn't seem a little point, and also the guys didn't want filming anyway, so I couldn't film what they were doing. And it was getting late into night, it was getting dark, it just seemed a bit of a waste of time. Easier for us to tell the story of what happened. You don't need to see it, just understand it was a bit stressful at the time, but it's all fixed, and as you can see, we're now moving on. And hopefully we're going to have a nice peaceful night here at Washingborough, it's called. Apparently we've been recommended the local pub, but there's 2 pubs I think, but I'm not sure what the first one's called, but we'll try one tonight. May catch up with you in the morning. Sleep tight. The name Witham seems to be extremely old, apparently predating Anglo-Saxon, Roman and even Celtic influence. The meaning is uncertain, although one possibility is Wyom, meaning river plain, and the river has been known as the Witham since Saxon times. Archaeological evidence points to river navigation as far back as the Iron Age. Artefacts such as the Iron Age Witham shield were found here in the river near Washingborough in 1826. The decorative metal front would have been fixed to a wooden back, which has since rotted away. There's also the Fiskerton boat, a logboat found near Fiskerton during flood defence work in 2001. The site where it is found was once a timber causeway used during the Iron Age to deposit valuable objects into the waters as religious offerings. This complete boat was made from a single oak tree trunk and still bears axe marks from its manufacturer. It was deliberately sunk as an offering and may have been specially made for this purpose. These items are both on display at the British Museum in London and the collection in Lincoln. The Witham was an important navigation in Roman times. Lincoln, the meeting point of Ermine Street, joining London to York, and the Fossway, leading to Leicester and Bath, was an important Roman junction. Most important Roman cities were situated near navigable water, which enabled goods to be transported in bulk, but Lincoln didn't possess this advantage, and so the Romans constructed the Fosdyke from Lincoln to Torksey onto the River Trent, and improved the River Witham from Lincoln to the Wash. The Witham thus gave Lincoln access to the east coast, while the Fosdyke gave access to the Trent and further on to the Humber. Following meetings of landowners held in 1752 and 1753, the position of a grand sluice was agreed in Boston. This grand sluice was constructed in 1766 to control the waters of the River Witham. It separated the tidal haven and incorporated a lock to secure river navigation. The grand sluice prevented regular flooding between Boston and Lincoln, and it allowed thousands of acres of farmland to be reclaimed. Good morning, everybody. Look at this lovely sun, lovely weather we're having. Aren't we having lovely weather, Jan?
Morning. Oh, it's lovely.
Lovely today. We're not going to go far. We're going to Bardney, I think it is. But there's an Elsam point and some water there, so
Yeah, we need that really.
yeah.
I need to do a wash. But I could do with a nice jug of sangria.
Oh yeah.
I know it's a bit early, but hey ho, you know.
Sangria.
Yes.
Look at her getting all continental. Right, anyway, let's get moving. Right, we've got this Bardney lock to go through. Strange little junction here. There's a little arm going off to a marina, I think. Looks like we go through a little cutting and then underneath the bridge. Not at all deep lock, this. Just a few feet. And the windlasses are already attached to the winding gear. Strange that. Because anybody could do it, can't they?
That's the roughest I've ever known any lock.
Well, this is today's mooring spot, Bardney Village Visitor Moorings. Village, I believe, is that away. And behind us, we've caught up with our buddies from the tidal Trent. New Dawn. They must be off shopping or sightseeing somewhere. But there we go. Not too shabby a mooring. Thanks for watching today's vlog. Coming up next time, we head to Boston and then go to the seaside town where we met 41 years ago.
Friend Goodell, Skegness.
Skegness. 41 years ago,
For my sins.
we met here doing summer season. I was the musical director. Jan was the head girl of the dance troupe. Thanks to all our supporters on Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee. Don't forget, thumbs up for a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's totally free to do so. And then when you have subscribed, press the bell icon. Ding! Thank you, Jan. And YouTube will notify you next time we upload a vlog. In the meantime, stay safe, everybody. Happy cruising. Bye for now.
Bye.